we're the Clark family, and we've sold our house and packed up our lives and moved to Galicia in northern Spain.
So follow us as we start our new lives, learn new skills, join a new community and try to live a more sustainable life.
So a quick introduction, new member of the homestead since you were last here. This handsome fella, our cock, he's been here for 8 months now, I guess, something like that. That's, well, blimey, it's been a long time since we last did a video. But he's not got a name. We don't tend to name the animals, to be honest with you. But you will see the fruits of his labour in upcoming videos. Another new member since you were last here. This is Reginaldo. Reggie. Oh, he's a Agrieuro cross, so he's like a Spanish Terrier. Well, he is a Spanish Terrier crossed with something else. We're not sure. Something with long hair. How old's he now, Em?
Born in September.
Oh yeah, so 6 months. So he's 6 months old now as well. So he's there to keep the other two dogs company. And he's a lovely dog. He's a lovely temperament, and he's been a real addition to the family. So we're up in the woods today, a bit of woodland management, stripping out some ill trees, diseased trees. That'll also add to our wood pile for next year. We've already, see if we can turn around and show you this. We've already processed this amount of wood over the past few weeks. This all for next year. There's stuff at the bottom needs stacking properly, but at the back there. And this was full at the start of the winter. And that's all we've got left. I don't know if you can see it at the bottom. That's all we've got left. So hopefully we're not going to have too much of a cold snap, because it's going to get cold. We're going to run out of wood, I should say. We've still got these large lumps to process. Got to get the splitting axe on them. So yeah, that's what we're on to today. So I'm on the chainsaw. Emma's on the chipper, making chips for the well, they're going in the polytunnel at the minute to keep the weeds down in the polytunnel, and the kids are pushing wheelbarrows and stacking wood. So that's today's project. Yeah, it's a beautiful day up in the woods, as you can see. Blue skies all around. Freezing this morning, -3 it was, hard frost. So we're spending time up in the woods today because we've got 3 or 4 days of hard frost. We don't want to be putting new plants out into the ground because, you know, hard frost is just going to kill them off, isn't it? So if just to give you some sort of rationale that we're not just chopping trees down here for the sake of it. So we've got these little copse of trees here, and Emma and I went round yesterday and we've marked up with these, you can see these silver bands. So what we're aiming to do is, we've got this tree here. I don't know if, can I point this out? This tree here, and this tree here, and this tree here, all fairly close together. And this one in the middle clearly is struggling to compete against the others. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to clear this thinner one out, this weaker one out, and don't know if you can see, you know, it's struggling to compete up there in the treetops with the rest of them. So what we're doing is basically taking any weaker or diseased trees out. So again, here you can see we've got this. There we go. There we go. So we've got this strong tree here and another strong tree here, and then this weaker one in the middle, which is clearly struggling, will end up dying off anyway. So that's the sort of rationale. Get a bit more sunlight in, make the existing trees that are here stronger. Yeah, so I mean, we're not arboriculturalists, is that the right word for a tree person? But we have put some thought behind it, and that's what we're planning on doing. So the trunk itself and the thicker limbs will go for firewood. The sort of brash, this sort of stuff here, anything that's useful for the garden which is straight enough and thick enough to go in the garden will be used for bean poles or for the peas. That's what Em's doing now, she's sorting them out. And anything that's left over will go into this chipper that we bought. So that will go into there. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we've got the first tree processed. And it was only a little tree, so a bit of firewood there, a bit of firewood here. We use the chipper to get rid of all the brash. So we've got what Emma's just, so it's coming through the chipper into the wheelbarrow because it catches it nicely, and we're putting it into bags. So I think we're going to get 4 bags out of it.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of wood left over from previous trees that have been cut down.
Yeah, so there's 4 bags there. We're in Leroy Merlin, which we don't,
equivalent of B&Q.
Yeah, we don't have Leroy Merlin in the UK. So B&Q, I don't know what the American equivalent would be. Anyway, large DIY store. These bags were €7 each. £7.50. So if we get 4 bags out of it, that's like €25 saved, isn't it? And we've already had 20 bags.
Yeah, I've nearly completely done the walkways again in the polytunnel, and the chickens have had quite a bit.
Yeah.
Where it's been wet, we've been putting it outside for them.
So, sort of from a monetary point of view, I think we paid €300 for this, something like that. Was it maybe a little bit more? I'll check and I'll put a little thing on the screen here. So, I mean, this is getting on for almost paid for itself already. In chippings that we've not had to buy. So I'll come back to this in a minute, the old chipper. And then Emma's selected these bits of brash because these are ideal for peas to grow up. So what's happening is, this one, for example, you can see that, the sun on my back. That stake at the bottom will go into the ground, and then the peas sort of entangle themselves in these little branches as they grow up, and it's absolutely perfect for them. Wish we'd have done it last year, to be honest with you, but we didn't. It's a lesson learned. We're gonna learn from that lesson. Yeah, so that's the first tree processed. Back onto the chipper. So it's a 4-stroke chipper. So it's got an oil tank on it, as you can see, 212cc. It's very loud, 109 decibels, but I guess when you chainsawing that sort of stuff, you got your ear defenders on anyway, so it is quite loud. And in this casing here, and the engine drives a rotor which has got 2 blades on it. In the description it says it can chop up to, I think it's 50mm branches. I mean, we've not tested anything like that, because if it's a 50mm branch, we're chopping it up for firewood and kindling, so we have a use for it. But if we were to process all that brash there, it'd go through this. no problem at all. Quite pleased with it, to be honest with you. The reviews on the site, Acre, what were they called? Acre something? Acre, oh, Euro Acre, I think they were called, or Agrieuro, based in Italy. The reviews on the site for this are a bit mixed, but I guess when people see that it can do 50mm branches, they're just ramming 50mm branches down it constantly. So there's reports of blades cracking and stuff like that. We're not pushing it anything to it anywhere near its potential. We have no need to, and from that point of view, it's absolutely perfect for us. I think other people were trying to process grasses through it as well, and I think the grasses would just get entangled in the blades, and it stalls the engine constantly.
Yeah, like green leaves. You can't put green leaves through it.
Yeah, so I mean, now this time of year is perfect because there's no leaves on the branches, is there? Everything's quite dry because the sap's not rising yet into the branches. So for what we need, it's described as a hobby chipper. It's not professional by any means, and it's perfect for us. We're going to use it 4 or 5 times a year, and then it's going to be sat in the garage or in the barn for the rest of the year. So for us, absolutely perfect. It's doing a job, and as you can see, you know, it's chipping nicely, and I think it's already paid for itself in chips that we haven't had to buy from elsewhere. So this tree here, this short tree or narrow tree, is the next one to come down. So again, this is not an instructional video, obviously, but it's not an instructional video at all. The way I look at this, I'll try and work with what I've got. As you can see, the tree is leaning to the left, so I'll cut it so it's going to fall to the left. It's going to come that way naturally. The ground's sloping that way as well, so with a correct sort of wedge cut in the bottom, it should fall the way it's leaning there, and should be fairly safe for me to do that as well. I will say before I do this tree, there's a strong possibility it's going to get caught up in the trees adjacent to it. It's not going to come down in a wanna, but we'll see. Here's our pussycat. He's our mouser. Hey Drax. Drax the Destroyer. Got a bit of a weepy eye there by the looks of it. So Drax an outdoor cat. He lives in the barn here. He doesn't come in the house. Draxy. He's still a little bit skittish. My daughter, she feeds him, so he comes to her a lot. But I don't know if maybe long-time viewers will remember. It's about a year since we've had these, and the trouble we had catching him, bringing from the lady who gave them to us was it was an incredible story. But he's a million times tamer now. I don't think he likes the phone, to be honest with you, poking at him. Draxy! No. But yeah, he's a big old unit now.
So here I am down the polytunnel. As you can see, this middle bed has all been covered over with compost. I've got some tomatoes down there that aren't looking the happiest, and I've redone the walkways with the new chip stuff. I've put all new cardboard down first, and then started covering it over with some of this the chippings from the new machine. People that have been watching the channel for a while will know that when we first put the polytunnel up, we bought these bark chippings, which is what Adam just said was €7.50 per bag at Leroy Merlin. So what we've got, I mean, it is a lot different. It's a lot smaller. It's not going to last so long. It's going to mulch a lot quicker, but that's better for us for using it as mulch and for using it for the chickens and stuff as well, so that's all right. So I've just got this little section behind and underneath the bench that I need to do, and then this last little bit in the entrance. So I've got the 4 bags done already, and then the last wheelbarrow full. So that's what I'm going to get on with now. So I think that'll do. The reason that I wanted to get the chippings behind the back there was because, annoyingly, the grass is coming all the way underneath the sides of the polytunnel, and then coming in underneath. you can just about, I think you can just about see just here somewhere that there's a bit of green coming through, so a bit of a preventative measure for that. I tell you what, when you come down here in the morning when the sun's come up and it's starting to get warm and you open the door, the smell of the wood is absolutely beautiful. So looking a lot neater now, and that should do until this time next year.
Along with sorting the trees out up in the woods, we've all got these big logs here that need splitting as well. We haven't got a hydraulic splitter or anything like that, so still using the old splitting axe. You have to come up and do that when you've got a bit of frustration that you need to get rid of. Quite physically hard work, so I don't do too much of it at a time. Also, when you get a section like this one here, I don't know if you can see that, with a branch coming out of it, they're really, really tough to split, whereas the ones with no branches are much easier. They've dried out a bit now, even though they've been sat out in the weather, so last time I had a go at them, they split quite easily. We'll see. Oh, that was a bad one.
Where are you going? I can't hear you, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. What?
So that's quite a nice sized log there to dry out for next winter. I installed a larger wood burner in the living room while we've been gone, while we've been away for this last 8 months. So it's a 9 kilowatt one, whereas previously our Cocina de Lena, which is the wood burner upstairs, I don't know, that wouldn't get in it, not by a long shot. But the new wood burner, once it's up and going, it'll take sort of logs that size, no problem. There we go, one down, about 40 to go.
Yo.